Hello everybody, I hope everyone had a good weekend. This is the second week of my yoga challenge and I hope everybody enjoyed the first week. For today's video, I want to let you know that you're gonna need a prop in the form of a blanket. All you need is a blanket, a thick blanket or towel that you can fold over a few times, because the peak pose for today is shoulder stand or plow pose, and to do that safely, especially when I'm teaching it on the internet where I don't know who anybody is and what their history is like, it's best to use props to do this in a safe manner. So that's all you're gonna need for today's class, and I'm actually really happy that I get to teach this pose finally. I've always been a little wary about teaching it because of the requirement of the prop, but here it is, your moment of zen. Let's begin on our backs. Let's begin on our backs with our feet together, knees apart, and our arms overhead grabbing opposite elbows. So our feet are in a butterfly pose, sorta, and our arms are overhead, binded together, just grabbing opposite elbows. Just take a moment here to get in tune with your body, just enjoying laying down. Move around if you need to. Maybe straighten the arms overhead. Let go of that bind. Straighten them up. Shrug the shoulders up. Feel how it feels to stretch. And then grab the opposite elbows again, but this time the other way. The way that you're not used to. With the other arm over the other. And then let the elbows go down to the floor and feel how different that feels. It's so subtle and slightly different. All right, let's take a deep breath here and let it go. Inhale and let it go. Put the knees up and the feet up. Grab both knees, both shins, and just gently rock your knees toward your chest. It's super subtle. This is like, it should feel like nothing. It's just the most subtle rocking ever. Sometimes we just need to be gentle. We're not trying to pry and push all the time, okay? Alright, now let's cross our feet and see, oh, this is what we should do. Yeah, cross our feet, grab opposite ankles, and then increase the rocking until you come up to a seated position. Cool, huh? Anyway, I didn't make it up. From here, let's bring our hands forward and step back into plank. All right, from here, let's hang out in plank for a moment. Squeeze your butt lightly, engaging them. Back of the neck is long, wrinkle free. Push the shoulder blades apart so that your whole body goes away from the floor even more. Breathing. And from here we go to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog is just basically your hips go up into the air. You can bend your knees, look forward, or you can straighten your knees and just let your head go. It's up to you. Maybe shake your head no, shake it yes, just moving that knee or moving the neck around. Remember to breathe. All right. From here, let's move on. Go back to plank. and lower down slowly, 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 all the way until your whole body's on the floor in your cobra. Tops of the feet pressing down into the floor to lift your upper back up. Release the hands up off the floor just 1 inch. And then press them back down, tuck your toes, and press yourself up into downward facing dog. Raise your right leg up. Higher, higher, higher. And then bring your right knee to your nose. Bring your right leg back up. And right knee to nose. Keep it here, right knee to nose. Bring the right knee to the right tricep. Bring the right knee to the left tricep. Bring the right knee back to your nose and step it through between your hands. And you can help push it forward if it didn't make it forward enough. You want your knee or your foot to be below your knee, not jutting forward too much. So, hanging out in this lunge position, let's go straight into a standing splits position. Put your hands a little more forward and see if you can raise your back foot up. Now, if your standing leg is bent or straight, it doesn't matter. Just find your edge and ride it, okay? The more flexible you become, the easier it'll be when you can straighten your legs. But for now, you know, you work with what you got. And if you have a block or a box, you can elevate your hands and it'll make it easier to do this. Now, step the left foot down to meet the right. Slide the hands up the shins, above the kneecaps, flatten the back, and come up with a flat back. All right. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky, maybe looking up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky, and hands to the heart. One more time, except we're going to swan dive. Inhale. Sweep the arms up, maybe looking up, maybe back bending slightly, and then swan dive down to the hands down to the mat. And from here we step the right foot back into a lunge. Hanging out here for a moment. Let's hang out here just for a little bit, warming up everything even more, and then get on the tops of your toes, the back toes, and bring your hands forward and bring yourself up into standing splits one more time on the other side. Again, if you have a block or a book or something to help elevate your hands, it'll be easier to straighten the standing leg and get even more of a stretch. So props are very, very nice and helpful. And again, so if you're in this position, let your head go. Just move it around, relax the shoulders, bend the elbows if you want to go deeper. There's all sorts of things you could do here. So, step the right foot down next to the left. Slide the hands up the shins and let it go. Forward fold. Bring the back, interlace your fingers and bring the back, put them around the back of your head and just allow your arms to relax so the weight of your arms pull the crown of your head slowly down to the ground against gravity, or with gravity this time. Alright. Let's bring the hands down. Step the left foot back into a lunge. Bring the back knee down. If this hurts your knee, you can double up the mat and step your whole leg on the doubled up part. Or use a blanket. Bring both arms up. And you want the left hip to be coming forward around the corner and the right hip going back. Let's actually also do, and you want to also tuck the tailbone and lift the front of the hip up, the back down. Okay? And if you have that all squared, your hips are squared and tucked, then you bring the right knee forward to accentuate the stretch even more. Let's put the right hand on the right hip, left arm up, reaching up toward the sky, and reach it over to the right. Pulling our deep hip flexors. Speaking of deep hip flexors, let's go one more level here. Bring the left hand down, kick the back foot up, and then reach back with your right hand and try to grab whatever you got. I do this stretch pretty much every day. It's one of my favorites. It's probably not your favorite, but you know it feels good at the end. Look back at your foot. Can you see your foot? Are you grabbing the big toe side? If you are, look at it and grab the pinky side. So to externally rotate the shoulder, and also kick the foot into the hand for 5 seconds, meaning away from your butt, kicking the foot, and then use your biceps to pull it in. Don't make the pain face, just let it go, breathe. And then keep the foot up, but release the hand. Put the hand in front of you, keep the foot up, and then lower it down slowly. Alright, good job everyone. I hope that helping you feel a lot more open in that hip. Let's straighten the front leg and bow down over it. And instead of tucking the tailbone, you want to stick the bum out in this position right now. Let's move the ankles around in a circle, just to pass the time, you know. If you want to make this stretch a little more intense, you can slide the front foot more forward. Switch the ankle. If you're moving the feet around, switch the directions. If you want to make this a little more balance oriented, you raise your arms up. Remember to breathe, relax the shoulders. Alright, bring the hands back down. Bend the front knee. And let's switch sides. And let's do so by bring the hands toward your left, bring the back toes up, and parallel the feet. So you're in a straddle, forward fold, and then walking your hands to the left. Make the left toes face forward, and back knee, right knee back down. Okay? So now we're facing the other side, and we could do our other side. Let's begin by just raising the arms up. So we're in this lunge, and of course you can double up the mat if it hurts your knee. Remember, you want to square the hips. In this scenario, the right hip comes forward and the left hip goes back. Tuck the tailbone, the front of the hips going up, the back, the sacrum going down. Let's pull it out even more by putting the left hand on the left hip, reaching the right arm up, 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 and overhead to the left. So pulling the whole right side of your body up and maybe feeling a deeper stretch in the hip flexors. Oh, and bring the left knee forward. That will help accentuate things even more. Of course, it's like the most important part. I forget that part. Alright, so bring the right hand down. Kick the back foot up. Grab whatever you can. If you can't grab your foot, of course you can use a strap or towel or shirt to try to loop it through, a belt, anything to help you pull it in a little bit, and you'll be there before you know it. This is one of the best stretches because, well, you don't need anything. You don't need equipment, you don't need props. I mean, nothing wrong with using props, but when you can do it, it's great. You don't need a wall or anything. So, look back at your foot. Can you see your foot that you're grabbing? Are you grabbing the big toe side or the pinky side? Grab the pinky side if you can to externally rotate the shoulder. Kick the foot into the hand to pull your whole chest and shoulder open as well. So you're kicking the foot away from your butt. And then use your biceps to pull the foot in. This will help you go deeper. And of course, try to bring the front of the right hip forward and down if you want to make it a little more intense. But don't make the pain face. Let it go. And if anyone is super comfortable here, you can also just bring your right forearm down as well. But let's get out of it for now. Release the hand, but keep the foot up. Put the hands in front of you, and then slowly lower the foot down. If your hamstring's cramped during that, it's normal. It will go away though with practice. It just means they don't have enough active sufficiency, they're contracted. You're trying to make them work in a contracted position and there's not enough strength or oxygen left, so it'll go away with adaptation. Now speaking of hamstrings, let's straighten the front knee and stretch the hamstrings on the other side. Bowing down over it. Of course, you could slide the front foot forward if you want to accentuate it more. Remember to stick your bum out, anterior pelvic tilt. In this scenario, you can move the ankles, the feet around in a circle. In either direction, just to help pass the time. And of course, you can also raise the arms up and see how you balance in this position, just to work everything a little more actively. All right, now let's go back, hands down. Bring the left foot down to the right, and let's go back to that straddle. Tuck the back toes. Go into a straddle with the feet parallel and let the head go, everything down. Reach the hands down and behind you. Reaching the hands behind you. I'm running out of space, but you can do it. Remember to breathe. You can grab your big toes as well and kind of roll onto the outsides of your feet to lift the inner arches to stretch the outside of the ankles. That's a nice little stretch as well. Okay, put the hands in the middle on your fingertips and flatten the whole back, so you're in a half forward fold. Okay, chest up, looking up. And stand upright. Okay, let's heel toe in or hop in to the middle. So we're standing, feel good. Let's do a quick, not quick, but let's do a proper plow pose or shoulder stand. Either or. For this, I recommend a thick blanket or something. You gotta be safe. If your shoulders are tight, if your neck is tight, shoulder stand is one of those poses that, or plow pose, is one of those poses that they don't recommend yoga teachers teach in a beginner level class because of the risk of injury. But if everyone has access to the right equipment, like the prop, in this case just a thick blanket to put over under the upper back, then it's safe. And that's how it should be built up. Okay, so we're gonna do it the safe way because this is the internet and I don't know who's watching this and I don't want anyone to get hurt. So let's lie on our backs and make it such that your head hangs off the blanket. Alright, so the blanket is not being used whatsoever on your head. It's more so just propping up your upper back so your head hangs down below the ground, so to speak. Okay? And let's start with some reverse crunches. You guys are gonna love this. Put the hands down, palms flat down, bring the knees into your chest, and you can either let the head go or kind of, let's just keep the chin tucked in for now. And from here, basically you press the hands down into the floor and bring your knees toward your chest, toward your face, until the butt comes off and slowly lower it back down. Let's do that a few times. Bring the knees in. It's like a reverse crunch, it's called. And then lower it down. Bring it in. And down. Exhale when you bring it up. Inhale as you come down. Just do it at your own pace. Try to slow it down. You might be doing it fast. Slow it down. Okay, and then put the feet back down. Rest just for a couple breaths here. That is basically the inkling to the start of your shoulder stand, but you're actively pressing yourself up into it. So let's do it one more time. Press your hips up using your hands, and then put your hands underneath on your lower back to help support your lower back. Okay, and you can rest your head down on the mat and it should feel comfortable. You have the option here of straightening the legs. Keeping them bent is up to you. You can even straddle your legs. You can even bring your legs in a circle. Draw a big circle with your feet if you got the space for it. And then from here, to transition to plow pose, you slowly bring your feet over behind your head. If your feet don't touch the ground, good. Then they don't touch the ground. That's all it is. Everyone's different. But if they do, great. You know, whatever. You can, if they are touching, you can reach your arms overhead. If you're a little advanced, you can grab your feet, you can put your hands underneath your feet and then just straighten your knees. This is why it's important to have the blanket, because if you don't have the neck flexibility, then it might be crunching your neck. But if you do, then all more power to you. Okay, if you're holding on to your feet, release that. Put your hands back under your shoulder, under your lower back. So your hands are on your lower back. Tuck your knees in. Now let's do the reverse crunch the opposite way. Put your hands down by the mat, palms facing down, and lower down slowly, 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 until your butt is back on earth. Let's take the blanket out from under us. Hug our knees in. Exhaling everything out. And let it go into Shavasana. Just get comfortable here. Just lay here. Bring your hands underneath. Interlace your fingers and bring your hands underneath your head. And pull your head away from your body so the crown of the head is reaching back to lengthen your neck. Maybe move it to the left, move your head to the left, to the right with a long neck. Your interlaced fingers pulling them up toward the crown of your head, and then set it down. And let's just chill. Relax the shoulders. Close your eyes. Maybe put a towel over your eyes. Allow the breath to flow freely. Stop thinking about what you want to do in 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes will come, don't worry. Everything, the whole world is waiting for you out there. And it's not going to go away, so you don't have to actively keep thinking about it. It's there, don't worry. Just, this is you time. Alright, now let's slowly roll over onto our left side of our body and use our hands to press ourselves up into a seated position. Seated position of your choice, cross-legged preferably. Bring the hands to the heart. Let's close out this session. Again, being grateful for having a body that we can improve upon. Having a clear mind to help us reach our goals and dreams. And everything that comes with it. Have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow.